Now, here we are. Now, I know this question that you've been asking yourself for many years. How can I be rich? And let me tell you one today that there are only four ways on how you can be rich in life. And that is what I'm going to check with you today. I've outlined them each and every point, and I'm going to explain each and every point so that you understand exactly what is required of you to do it, so that at least you achieve that what you've been looking for as rich. Others call it wealth, others call it financial freedom. It depends on how you call it. But before I do exactly that, do you know what? I usually post a video each and every day talking about investment, how to make money, be it either online or in a conventional way. So if you don't want to miss any good of my videos in the future, do this. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. On down there, on your right, there is a button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that button and as well like this video and turn that notification bell. And by doing only that, a whole YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video. So let's get into today's business. Now, just like I've said at the beginning of this video, there are only four ways on how you can be rich in this life. Let's not bury our sand into the, or rather, let's not bury our head into the sand and assume that there are other varieties. Let me tell you one thing, they all draw down to these exactly four. So the point number one, right? It's about you inherit. Of course, this one doesn't need a lot of, complicated introduction and such kind of a thing. If your parents are lucky enough, they did something, they tried as much as they can, maybe they worked hard, or maybe they also inherited from their grandparents, okay? Now the point is this, if they place you in a situation whereby you already you already have what a kickstart. You have a point where you can start not from the scratch and then you can be able to only thing that you need to do at this particular point, the very first thing you need to do is to take care of what you've gotten in that specific family. And then you take it to a notch higher, meaning that you grow that specific thing. You're far much better placed compared to somebody who do not have that kickstart. Somebody who have to work, or they have to work themselves all the way from scratch or from the down there to point where maybe you are or from where you picked it up from. So one very major thing or how you can be able to actually go out there and be able to be rich in life, it's by you inheriting that thing. Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, we say that a better father, the best father is the one who leaves the inheritance to the children or something of sort. So if you come up from such kind of a background family, all what you need to do, you need to have for yourself what you call the good managerial skills. You understand yourself better and you know how to manage your money, how to grow it, and as well how to retain it. Because one principle as far as the money is concerned, we say, do not lose your money. Stay focused on it and make sure that you stay put with that money that you've gotten out there. Otherwise, you are on a place that we can say you're better placed. Let me not waste your time with more of filler materials and such kind of a thing. How about we jump into the next one? The next one, you see it. Definitely, in Swahili wanasemanga kupinga watu nyongoloa and whatever, unawanyaganya and all those kind of things, okay? So now the point is this the best method to actually acquire it? I don't want to read it in English. You can just read whatever I've written out there. Now, this is quite a popular method, especially when it comes to African countries and our leaders. They steal from us, meaning that they do things that are not okay. Actually, you find somebody that just clinging to power for the next 2 or 3 years. Somebody has already built mansions, has real estate, others are coming up with new cities and what have you. Now you ask yourself, if you were to sit down with pen and paper and calculate the amount of money that they get from their salaries and maybe let's say some little of whatever investment they have out there does not equate what they're doing exactly at this particular point. And that's why you find, like in African countries and some of the Asian countries, that if you want to be rich in this country or rather this continent, then you got to get yourself into power, because basically they are there to steal and maybe do corruption and all those kind of things. So it's actually a formula. But the question is this: I would never recommend this. This is the most horrible way of actually becoming rich in life, because at the end of the day, you're becoming rich at the expense of others, people who are crying. Can you imagine somebody there were some issues with some our country, Kenya, and then people are saying like some people stole the money for medicine and what. So you can imagine people grappling in pain, and there you are enjoying the blood money and all those kind of things. So it's not a formula that I will never recommend it, but hey, I just had to include it to here because there are people who can just stand on the pulpit and say it's true. Whatever, I do not know whether they can actually say it, but it's a formula that people are using out there. It's the most horrible formula that you can ever use to acquire money or wealth or riches, depends on how you call it in this life. All right, so the point is this: avoid all that kind of a formula. I don't recommend it, and that's a disclaimer on this video. I do not recommend it, and I do not suggest you go ahead and do that specific thing. Let's even get out of that point. All right, it's not making my heart okay. Now, The third point, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one, and this is applicable to anyone who is out there, because some of us, or most of us actually are never born from a wealthy family. Then most of us then are not thieves. We cannot be able to apply the second formula because we have things that are in between. But we are not claiming that you're perfect anyway, by the way. Now, the third point is the best for me, and which is it that you learn about it, you grind, you work, you manage, you grow, and that's how you become wealthy. It's very simple. It's basically what I always talk about in this channel each and every day. I tell you, hey, you know what? Yeah, I understand. Maybe you get yourself like 10K, you get yourself like 20K, 30, 50, 100, whichever the amount of money that you're getting out there. Now, the question is this. Now, how do you get yourself out of where you are? You grow yourself, but still maintain the lifestyle that you're having right there. Or maybe you need to sacrifice some things, one or two out there. So the point is this, it's all about learning. How do we learn? You learn from a channel like this. How do you do so? Just watching, okay? And make sure that you subscribe and also turning that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new good video, so that at least you can learn. That's how you learn. You learn how money works. You learn how to invest. You learn how to grow that specific money. You learn how to save, because it all starts with savings. And you cannot be able to save without you having the budget and managing your money. So the genesis of actually growing wealth through this formula is start from you having the financial understanding, financial literacy, then manage to create a surplus. Because I always tell people there is nothing like surplus. You'll never get surplus when it comes to money. Even if you're earning 10K today, tomorrow you added salary to 80,000, you still have to say that you still or feel like money is not enough. So the point is this, you never have a surplus. What we do is to create that surplus by doing what? By living below our means or increasing our earnings, okay? Now, after having that knowledge of literacy about how money works and financial understanding, now the next point, of course, is to save. Now you save after you've created what we call the surplus. Now you save and you accumulate. You store that money to a point whereby that money you can take it, you invest it. Now, once to invest, you can invest in either in investments, just like I said, like money works for you, and you can invest in conventional businesses. You work for the money. And then from there, whatever you get is called the passive income. Now, the passive income plus what you've been earning through the conventional employment. Now when you add total, you have two streams of income. That's still not enough. Now you take that money that you're getting, you again save it, you store it, you accumulate, then invest it again on another different area. You create another source of income. Just in case one fails, you have two with you, and then you keep on adding like that. They say an average millionaire has around 7 streams of income. That's how you grow yourself. And let me tell you one thing, it's not a walk in the park. Definitely it's not a simple thing. It's not a thing that you can just wake up in the morning with all the discipline, with all the understanding, with all the knowledge. No, it's a thing that you have to do. Even though you feel like you don't want to do it, you still wake up in the morning, you do the thing, you keep on hitting at the same point. And by the way, at the end of the day, you're going to make a very great difference in this life. So this is the most recommended formula on how you can be able to do that thing and grow yourself out there. It may not be the formula that a lot of people tend to resonate with if you are used to, slighter thing, as if you want to get money in a quicker way and all those kind of things. Because if you are that kind of a person who has that perception, then you're gonna get yourself into challenges and problems. And these are the people who, if you don't want to get yourself into the right formula, these are the people who falls into the trap of being scammed and all those kind of things. So you got to be a little bit careful wherever you're doing this specific thing. So this is the formula that I recommend majority of you to do exactly that. If you wake up early in the morning, those guys that you see out there grinding, doing the best they can, they're doing so because this is the formula they trust on, they fix on it, and they trust in God, and they go up about it, and one day they will manage to do exactly that. So let me know down on the comment section. Are you learning something? Are we together? Are you getting something? All right, because if you're getting something, that's the most important thing. All right, because the whole aim of this specific channel is to make sure that you out there as my viewer, I'm also learning something from you, and you as well, picking 1, 2, 3 things that can actually help you into making that money, because that is the only way we grow ourselves in the future. Now, let's go to the point number 4. The point number 4 is quite interesting, all right? Now, the point number 4 is that there is no single tested formula for you to become wealthy in life. That's absolutely true. What exactly do I mean by that point? What can work for you can work differently from another individual. For example, say I'm a financial consultancy. That's how maybe I make my money and all those kind of things. Somebody else is not so. Somebody else is a runner, like the likes of the Kipchoge and what have you. The guy does the 40 kilometers run, and within 2 hours or something of sort, they get the 40 million. They are rich, and that's how they do it. Number two, others are footballers, others are business people, others do so through employment. And you get what I'm saying? We don't have a single tested formula that can apply commonly or can apply to all of us. What I can do is so different from what you can do. And that's why I always tell people, if by any chance you're watching this video and you're at your 20s, at this particular point is where I tell people, try many things as you can, because you never know where you are. If you never identified your talent since you're young, if you do not know whether you can play football, you do not know whether you can be able to run, and if you can, maybe you suppress that specific talent, you're doing nothing about it. Let me tell you one secret. That was the best thing or the easiest way of you making money out of it. But then you suppress it with the system of the education and all whatever kind of things. Now, it's good to keep on pressing different buttons until you realize, until you get that what works for you. You have to try it. But if you live in a victimized area, if you live in a victimized world, and you believe, hey, you are like so because you somebody somewhere is not doing their best, it's because of the government, because of where I was born from, and all those kind of things. See, whenever you have a reason not to do something, you'll never do it, and you're still gonna get yourself into problems and challenges. The point is this: I wish there was a single tested formula that, hey, I can tell you, hey, you know what, I'll do this and this and that, and let's meet at the end, then because you'll be rich. No, there is nothing like that. That's the reality, and that's the truth. So we apply this formula differently. Others, it works for others, others doesn't work for them, and then but at the end of the day, we apply what we call the Hess law. I mean, doesn't care or doesn't matter what route you usually follow, but let's meet at the top. All right, so that's the point. Because I say so because some people are so much comfortable with being employed, and they're okay, that's okay with them. Others feel like they don't want to get employed, they just want to get started with business, and they're okay with that. Others is about investment and all those kind of things. So do that what works for you. And I know you're asking yourself, now how can I know what works for me? You cannot know what works for you if you've never tried many things. There's no way I can be able to answer that question for you. The truth is that you got to try different things, and one day you're gonna set your hands, or you're gonna place your hands on that what is blessed for you, and you're gonna work for it, and you're gonna be rich, and you're gonna be wealthy, and make that what you've been looking forward into getting. Guess what? That's the end of my video, all right? But guess what? It's not the end of my entire future uploading of videos, all right? That's why I told you, take your time to subscribe, because you don't want to miss any of my future videos. It's about investment, tips on how you can grow yourself. So for now, it's a goodbye. Before we do that, I do have myself a number. I've left my number. My number is on the description of this specific video, meaning that you can pick that number, give me a call. I offer services pertaining to investment, share what we call the businesses, and other financial consultations and what have you, for only a cup of coffee. I still have myself booklets on investments. How about you pick the same number? You grab a copy, get started. Before you actually accumulate that money that you believe or you've been looking forward to invest, then know what is expected of you. So by the time you get it, you're good to go. So anyway, for now, it's a goodbye. See you there.